Hello, guys. So I'm in a different location today with a cooler background. So if you guys haven't been to the Withers branch of Mid-Continent Public Library, I highly suggest it. It's quiet and it's got cool rooms. So today we are talking about Canva, obviously, but specifically we're going to be talking about how to create a profile picture for your YouTube account in Canva. Anytime that a social platform has a circle as a profile picture, it trips a lot of people up. So that's kind of what I want to talk about today. And in Canva, it's actually a little tricky too. So I'm going to show you what works and what doesn't. So let me go ahead and share my screen and we will get the party started. Okay, so you can see that I am on our YouTube account. Just real quick, let me show you some examples of what a profile picture, looks like. So this person has their headshot as their profile picture. Makes sense, they're like a motivational coach, business coach, that type of thing. If we look at Mid-Continents, we've got the logo, of course. This is a social media coach, has his headshot in there. Startup Hustle has their logo. There's lots of stuff that you can do with your profile picture on YouTube. However, for the most part, you're going to stick to either a logo or a photo. And that photo needs to be reflective of you and your brand, right? So this Lazy Dog Farm, these are the two people that operate this farm. Kansas City Pet Project obviously has their logo. So, decide, does your YouTube channel need your business logo or does it need a picture of you? But it's probably going to be one of those two things. So I do want to show you just what ours looks like right now. Now, we're going to fix it, don't worry. But you see our image. When I click on it, make it a little bigger, it's going to take me into my studio, and it's that circle, but unfortunately our Square One logo is in fact a square. It's not a circle. So this is a problem that we run into a lot when we're on Facebook or on YouTube. It just doesn't fit in those dimensions, and so I'm going to show you how to fix that in Canva, and then we're gonna fix this live, so we never have to look at these cut off. You don't. It looks really bad, to have this cut off down here. You can't see what this is supposed to look like. It looks like R1 or on like it from a customer's perspective. They may know who we are, they may recognize the logo or the color, whatever, but they don't get the full picture. And so it's really important to make sure that you're not getting cut off in your profile image. It's the first thing that people see most of the time. So I'm going to jump into Canva. So you guys know that I love coming up here to my search bar. I would normally just type in whatever I need to type in. However, if I go to type in YouTube, I'm going to get a bunch of stuff, but I'm not necessarily going to get profile picture. Even if I go and type in, profile, nothing's going to come up here. So what you're going to want to do instead is when you're working with that profile image, it's the exact same size as a logo. And if you see it's 500 by 500 pixels, if we go back here and we look at the recommended size, they say at least 98 by 98 pixels. So we know that it's a square image, even though they cut it off into a circle. Don't tell me why. It's just how it is. So we know that, okay, the logo is going to work for us because it is, in fact, larger than 98 by 98. So we can click on logo. So that's the first thing I want you guys to remember. When you're creating in Canva for a YouTube or a Facebook profile picture, you want to make sure that you're using a logo template. I, again, like to start with the blank one, specifically because we are not created a logo. You guys already have a logo probably, but we want to make sure that we start blank. So the very first thing that you want to do, and this is going to seem, it'll make sense, but if you come over here to elements, the very first thing here is a circle, and if you drag that up to the very corner and drag it all the way down to make it fill that square, This circle is what you're going to be playing with, right? Because when we go back to YouTube, we see those corners are going to be cut off. So this blue is like our safe space, right? Everything we put inside the blue is going to be seen in the profile picture, but anything that we have outside of the blue circle is not. So this is a good way for you to kind of stay within the lines. So let's just go through and let's do one with a logo. So if I come down here to logos, if you can't see this on your end, you can come down here to the more icon and it will show up right here. I've already got it loaded in, and we've got all of our lovely library logos in here. So let's use the Business of Food Trucks. So if we had a Business of Food Trucks YouTube channel and we wanted our logo to be our icon here, I know that if I'm in that blue circle, then I'm safe, right? So I could potentially go a little larger, but what happens, if I have it up here, I mean, it looks a little silly, but things are going to start getting cut off if we are outside of that blue line. So we want to make sure that we are, in fact, in that blue. When we're moving these things around, you can see that those purple lines go up and down, and then across to make sure that you're centered. I like it. It's just make sure that everything's right in the perfect spot. And another cool thing that you can do, especially, if you are trying to stick to a certain color scheme, I know that we always do. The blue is a default color for us because it's a square one color, but the Business of Food Trucks has its own color scheme. So I'm going to click on this blue circle and I'm going to hit this icon up here to change it. And I've got all my colors already loaded in. So I do have that green. What happens if I use this gray is the food truck really gets washed out. So, green's going to be good. I could do black. It still kind of washes out the food truck, but I really like the green. Now, if you don't have your colors loaded in here, another thing you can do is if you keep scrolling down, it actually shows you what colors are utilized in the photo that you dropped in there. So even if I didn't have any of this on here, it says, hey, did you know that there's this green color in that picture and maybe you could use that? So you can always scroll down a little further and get something to match there. So this would be a good example of your logo on a solid background. Nothing's getting cut off. All we'd have to do is give it a name, download it, and then we can upload it to our channel. So let's do that really quick. Business of Food Trucks, logo, lime. Let's download it. We want to make sure that we download it as a PNG or JPEG. Let's download that bad boy. And let's just see what it looks like in that YouTube channel. Let's close it out, close it out. Lots of pop-ups. So let's hit that change button. I'm going to try to make sure that I actually answer any questions as they come along. And if I upload that, you can see it actually gives you the idea of where it's going to be cut off with that blue line, and everything we made is directly in there. So all we'd have to hit is done, and it would change out our logo. So easy, but don't forget when you do this, you also need to hit that publish button or else nothing's going to change, which is fine because we don't have a Business of Food Trucks YouTube channel. We have a Square One channel. So we're going to need to make this a Square One logo. So let's go back and do that. So let's add another page, and I want to show you, some more things that we can do with that. So again, I want to go back up to elements. Now I could use that circle again, but I do want to show you another cool thing that we can do. So instead of using a solid background, we can do a frame. So if we're in elements, right under templates, and we scroll down a little further here, we can see frames. Boom. I've got a circle frame. Now I know a circle frame is going to work out really well because it's a circle and whatever I put in it is not going to get cut off in our image. So I'm going to do the same thing I did for this circle here. I'm going to have it stretch across the entire square. And instead of it being a solid color, now I can drop any photo into there and it's going to be cut into a circle. So if I come back over here to photos, and actually, I like this blue background, but if I typed in something just blue, I get lots of different images. Something like that's kind of neat. I actually like that. But you see, all you have to do is click it, grab it, and pull it over, and it's going to take up that circle. So that being said, find one you like, and then again, I'm going to go back down to my logos, If they're not in logos, of course, feel free to upload it, and that might show up in your uploads. But all our stuff is already in our logo, so I'm going to drop that square one image right there. Now, I want to show you what happens here. This is a frame. Anything you drop on top of the frame, it's going to want to like suck into it, right? So when I go to stretch this out and move it around, see what just happened? It wants to make this logo the background in that frame, which deletes the thing we just did, right? So we want to make sure that we move this off to the side, or before we even add it in, we're going to click this circle and see this little padlock up here. If we click the lock button, excuse me, this lock means that it's not going to be edited at all anymore. So if we want to unlock it, all we have to do is unlock it, and then we can edit it. If we want to make sure that we don't mess it up, we keep it locked. So that being said, I can pull our logo back over here, stretch it out, put it in the circle, boom, like we're good to go. But I don't really know that I'm feeling that background anymore. So what do? I select that big circle, I unlock, and then I come back into my photos, and I can play around with different backgrounds. Love a solid blue. This one's kind of dark and fun. You get the picture, right? You can do a lot of stuff with your frame back there. I could really get stuck doing this all day, and if I do, we're not going to get anything else done. So that would be a good option for our YouTube channel. Another thing that we can do is let's go ahead and make one for our food ed while we're at it. So I'm going to add, let's do another frame. I like the frames. The frames are pretty cool because you can almost go seasonally with these, or however often you want to update things. So maybe I didn't want to go with blue, but I could go with something like fall's right around the corner. I could do like a fall theme in the background. Okay, well, fall's done, and then I'm going to go into winter, and I'm going to have a winter background, and then spring's going to roll around, and then I've got some cool springtime background. These are things that you can do as well. So however often you want to swap these images out, you've got the power to do that in Canva with the frames. So back down here, let's do another one. So food ed is another logo that we've got, and we can see that down here. And something I want to do is actually have a food background. So I'm going to come back up to photos and type in food. There's a lot of good options here. Something like this might work. Now let's just say let's select this, let's lock it in so it doesn't move, and let's come back down here to logos, and then my food ed option. Okay, this is fine, looks perfectly fine. Now I have a little bit of a problem with a logo with that white box behind it, because it's like that white box isn't part of the logo, right? It's like something that the logo is sitting on, and if it's saved as a JPEG or even a PNG file with that white background, sometimes it takes away from it. I don't know about you, maybe this looks okay to you, but it doesn't look great to me. So what I would actually like to do is take this food ed logo, hit my edit image, and remove the background from that logo. It's going to take the white out, and it's going to let that sit on top of the background. And this is exactly what I thought would happen, right? So if I go to apply that, now the logo gets washed out by the image in the back. So this is not going to be great. But as I was playing around with this earlier, I'm like, okay, food ed, it doesn't have to be food in the background. What if it's a plate, right? So I'm going to go back to my photos and jump over here and type in plate. Lots of awesome options here. I can take one that's, from a bird's eye view and drop that over, except what do I have to do first? Let's unlock it so we can change it, and then drop that over. It's a little off center, so you double click and you make sure that you have it in the spot you want it. Looks pretty good. We can make our logo a little smaller. See what happened? I'm going to drag it over to the side, lock it again, and then pull it back to the center. So this may be a good option for, a food ed YouTube channel, right? It's all about food, and it's a clean plate, it's a clean background. The white and the orange look really good together. I actually like this one as well. Let me unlock it and show you what that would look like. And then we can move this. The locking and the unlocking is really great, but sometimes you forget that something's locked, or you forget that it's unlocked. Happens to me all the time. But something like that looks really good to me, and so that would make a really great profile picture on a YouTube channel. So we've got the option of the logo on a photo background, and then we also have the option of your logo on just a solid background, whatever works best for you. So let's go ahead and download one of these for square one. I'm not gonna have the flowers in the background. Let's go back to our blue. Honestly, it would probably be best for me to just do a solid, but I actually like this background quite a bit. So when you go to download something, so you can see that I've been playing around with lots of these, but when you go to download, I only want page 2, and I need to rename this square one. I hit that download button, got my PNG file. I can do a transparent background, don't need it. I want the blue background there, but it says select what pages. I can select only page 2. Done, and it's going to download, and it's not going to give me those 3 images. It's just going to give me the one that I need. So it is downloaded. Let's exit out of that pop-up and go back to our square one channel. Let's change this out. Hopefully this shows up here. There it is. And upload it. We can see, boom, looks good. Hit that done, and then hit publish. So we're going to think about it for a second, and we can see that now our logo is actually visible to all of our followers on YouTube. And so this is something that you can change out, like I said, seasonally or monthly, or however often you feel like you need to switch it out. Excuse me. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, so another thing I wanted to show you guys what to do real quick is how to use a headshot, or an actual picture. So this is actually a lot easier than using a logo, but what we're going to do is go to our elements. We're going to use that circle frame again, pull that up to the corner, make it as wide as you possibly can on that image, and then you go into your uploads, and hopefully you have uploaded an image there. If I scroll down here far enough, there's a silly one of me. There's one of me eating a donut. Not great. Scroll down here a little further, and I think there's a better one. There we go. Oh yeah, this is the winner. So that's how easy it is to use an image, right? So if this YouTube channel was Hannah's YouTube channel, I would want to make sure that my face was on there. So this one, this is me drinking coffee. All you have to do is use that circle frame, use your your uploads, and pull it over. So that's one way that you would use just an image as your background. Now there's another really cool thing that I want to show you how to do. So let's add a page. I want to go back to elements, same thing. I'm going to use that frame. I'm going to get really good at this, pulling it all the way across. Now let's find a good background for us. I know we used Amy last time as an example. We're going to do it again. So maybe some books, like a castle background. I think I like that. Ooh, you guys know I can't spell. All right, castle background. Here we go. All right, so here we go. This is like spooky, romantic, I don't know. But something like this, right? We can play around with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to lock it in. And I can always come back and change it later. But I'm going to go to my uploads, scroll way back up here, and find this lovely picture of Amy. Here we go. And I'm going to just make this a little bigger so we can see what we're working with. Move it across. I'm going to edit this image, and I'm going to take that background out. And once it kind of like does that, then we can move Amy's image around in this circle. And when we download it, let's go ahead and apply that. There we go. We can pull this up a little bit, and we can put her right in the middle of the circle, right? But as we do this, remember, whatever's not in the circle is going to get cut off, right? So it's almost like this bottom portion isn't even going to be in the photo. So we can move it up a little bit, but look what happens if we move it up too far. You can see that her body gets cut off because that was not in the rest of the image. So we do actually want to make sure that it hits that bottom, because I'm going to show you what happens. So let's download this page. Amy Pick. Let's download it. We want to download only page 5. Boom, boom, boom. Hit that download button. And I want to show you what it looks like when we pull it up in YouTube. And of course, if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. I normally have 2 computers on me, but I've got my handy dandy phone that I'm trying to catch questions on. I don't see any, but Megan, just like let me know if there's some in there. Maybe text me. So last week I had a question that I just like missed, and Megan had written like a note on a piece of paper and was holding it up, and I still didn't see it. So oopsie. So anyway, we're gonna go to our YouTube channel, hit that change button, and then we can see that Amy Pick. If I upload it, see how it gets cut off down there. Thanks, Megan. And I'm going to hit that done button, and you see that it almost looks like Amy is actually in this like fantastical realm of castles and snow and magic or whatever. But that's kind of a fun thing that you can do with your headshot or just a photo of you, is actually swap out the background by removing the background of your image. So just, as an example, we removed the background from Amy's image, and then we used a circle frame and used a background that Canva allowed us to find. So, have some fun with it. I'm going to select this, and, we can play around with the photos there a little bit. If I type in library, we can pull in a library behind her. It looks great. There's all sorts of, fun things that we can do there. Even if you just type in the word background, they're going to give you just a million different options. Some are going to be like almost rooms, and some are just going to be like solid backgrounds that you might use for like a, PowerPoint or something. But anyway, like I said, it's kind of a short class today, you guys, and I apologize for that, but this topic is not something that you need to like dwell too much on. You just want to make sure that you're not hitting the same problem we were hitting with our logo being cut off. So I'm gonna remove that. I don't think Amy would appreciate that picture being like the face of Square One's YouTube channel. But that being said, just make sure that your logos aren't getting cut off. Make sure that when you are uploading something, it fits in there the way that it's supposed to. So as an example, here's a square picture of Morgan. If we uploaded that directly to there, I mean, this is fine. It's just her face, and if this was Morgan's YouTube channel, something like that works. So you don't have to go to Canva every single time. You can just upload directly to YouTube. But if you do run into the problem where something's getting cut off or it doesn't look the way you want it to look, then jump in Canva, play around with the backgrounds, size the logo down a little bit if it's getting cut off, and your YouTube channel is gonna look a lot more professional because of it. So if you guys don't have any questions for me, there's a whopping 4 people watching, but if those 4 people, shout out to you guys for sticking around with me today. If you could please fill out a survey, that would be ideal, and just let me know what types of classes you guys are looking for moving forward. We're kind of getting toward the end of these Canva series. We do have one more class about Canva as it pertains to YouTube, and we're going to be talking about video ads, so how to create a video ad for YouTube in Canva. So we're going to do that next week, but coming up pretty soon, we're going to be talking Canva as it relates to food businesses. So that's, logos and labels and all that really fun stuff, specifically for food businesses, menus, flyers. So if that's something that pertains to you, please, jump on our website and register for those. Those are going to be, again, Facebook Lives that you can watch. And then if you don't hit it live, you can always watch it later. Those are going to be under our video tabs. that survey, really, really important. Let us know what type of, stuff you're wanting to learn, whether it's Canva or social media or YouTube or whatever. I would love to answer those questions for you. And then, if you need a little more help with Canva or with any of those things, feel free to reach out to me personally. We can do a one-on-one, probably do those virtually as the COVID variant is getting a little worse and worse. So we can jump on a Zoom together or a Teams call or Google Meet or a FaceTime or whatever works for you, and we can definitely get that going for you. But if you're struggling with any of this, if you're struggling with anything in your business, feel free to reach out. That's why the library is here. We're here to help you in your business journey. And sometimes that starts with helping you with, getting your YouTube logo up and going. So that being said, survey. Tune in next week, ask your questions, and I will see you guys next Thursday.